Wonderful. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope we are all doing well today. It's good to see so many of you here joining in. My name is Gail, for those of you who may not know me yet. Feel free to modify any part of your practice today. Challenge yourself where you can. If you have an existing or advanced practice, challenge yourself where you know you can. But if you're new or just feeling tired or whatever, you need to be kind to yourself. You should always be kind to yourself. Take breaks if you need. Child's pose. I will try to be as clear as I can with my modifications as we move through. Right? This is yoga, so we just want to stretch, breathe, flow a little bit, letting go of everything else. So it doesn't matter so much what the practice looks like, as long as it feels good to you as you're moving through and the breath is flowing, okay? So beginning in a comfortable seated position on the mat, you can either bring your hands to your knees, you can turn the palms down or face up. If you want, you can also, as another option, bring palms together at the heart, relaxing your chin to your chest. Whatever is a more comfortable spot as we begin. Just taking these first few moments together to settle into our space. As we start to observe the breath moving in and out through the nose, and letting the breath flow nice and easy through the body. Let the shoulders soften away from the ears, softening the space between the eyebrows. Then letting the breath deepen each time you inhale, each time you exhale. Firing up the Ujjayi breath, the breath with sound. Let's give it one more deep breath here. And slowly begin opening up the eyes. Let your hands relax beside you, maybe even shake out the hands a little bit. All right, just kind of letting go of any tension that we might be holding on to. Sometimes we hold on to things we're not even aware that we're doing it. Good. And before we begin, let's actually give the wrists a nice little stretch. So if you've been working a lot or on your phone or laptop, let's stretch out the wrist by reaching both arms straight forward. Start with both thumbs pointing up. Then turn the thumbs toward the floor. Take the right arm, lift it up, reach the right hand in front of your left, interlace all 10 fingers, then flip the hands inside out. And maybe the hands go about halfway, and that's fine. It doesn't matter how deep or rather how far the hands pull through. So if they go all the way through, that's great too. You just want to go far enough to where you feel the stretch in the wrist, right? This is not the kind of stretch that we often get. But feel free to do this throughout the day, maybe once or twice, if you feel you need to give yourself a little stretch. Release out the hands. Take the right hand, bring it back to the right side. Let's do the other side. Your left hand, lift it up. Bring it in front of the right. Interlace all 10 fingers. Again, bring the hands through. Deep breaths. And letting it go, release it out, shake out the hands. Let's come on to hands and knees. And of course, I didn't say this before either, but if you have blocks or props, feel free to have them handy. They do sometimes work very nicely in the practice. And if you don't have them, don't worry. Again, I'll try to be as clear as I can with instruction, so you can work with or without props. Tucking or untucking the toes, whatever feels better here on the spine, or rather the knees. Inhaling, arching the spine, coming into a little cow pose. Let the eyes look up. Then exhaling, round it down into cat pose, pressing up between the shoulder blades, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling, arching the spine, little back bend, soften the shoulders back. Exhaling, rounding down. So it'll be the inhales that take you into the gentle back bend, slow, steady movement. It'll be the exhales that release, rounding down. And let's do a few more, moving on your own to the sound of the breath. Just staying tuned into how the breath moves. One more breath. Bringing it back to a neutral spine. Spread the fingers wide on the mat. We're setting up our first down dog of the day. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And in your first down dog of the day, you're welcome to walk out the feet a little bit, bending your right knee, bending the left as you stretch things out. Waking everything up. On a big inhale, let's lift the heels high. Exhaling, relax the heels back to the mat. Bringing it forward to plank pose, line up the shoulders right over the wrist, top of the push-up here with little readjusting between the hands and the feet. Let's bring it back to down dog. Hips high, heels back toward the mat. And maybe the heels never touch down, that's okay. But we want the weight to shift back. And if you need to, you can put a slight bend in the knees to release out the hamstrings or the lower back. Let's put a little bend in the knees, look forward through the hands, walk or lightly hop your feet up to the front of the mat, folding over the legs with your feet slightly separated. Keep a little bend in the knees, interlace the fingers behind the back, let the arms reach up toward the sky. You can bend the knees a little deeper if you like, but making sure that the knees are bending at least a slight bend. We're releasing the lower back as we stretch out the shoulders. Give it one more deep breath in. On the exhale, relax the arms toward the mat, then slowly begin rolling up to stand. Take your time as you uncurl all the way up. Chest up, shoulders back, palms slightly forward. Pressing down through the legs, big inhale, circle the arms around and up overhead. Exhale, dive over the legs. On your inhale, we're lifting the chest, maybe palms to shins if that's a little easier. Exhale, step the left leg back in a low lunge. And you can modify here, lower the back knee or keep it lifted. We're taking a twist, pick up the right arm. Your right fingertips reach high. Make sure the right heel stays anchored down. One more inhale. Exhale, lower the right hand, plank pose, step the right foot back, take an inhale. Exhale, lower the knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide it through into low cobra, tops of the feet down, elbows bending. Bring it back to down dog or take child's pose. Deep breaths. From your down dog, bending the knees a little, look forward, step or hop the feet up to the front of the mat. Lift the chest, inhale, lengthen. Exhaling, round down, fold over the legs. Big inhale, sweep the arms around and up as you rise. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale, dive back over the legs. Chest up on the inhale, lengthen. Step the right foot back in low lunge, setting up the twist. Again, you can drop the back knee to modify or keep it lifted. Pick up the left arm. Reach up through the fingertips. Press the right heel back. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lower the left hand, plank pose, step it back, deep inhale. You can lower to chaturanga or drop the knees to modify. Inhale, cobra or up dog, soften the shoulders back. Return to down dog or child's pose. Taking deep breaths. Let's give it one more deep breath. Good. Putting a little bend in the knees. Look forward through the hands in your down dog. Walk or float the feet up to the front of the mat. Lifting the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Drop the head down as you fold. Heel toe the feet all the way back together. Toes and heels touch. Bend the knees. Let your fingertips reach toward the mat. Keep the hips sinking down. Lift the arms up. Utkatasana. Drop the shoulders. Look up between the hands. Give it one more deep breath in. On the exhale, dive over the legs, stepping your left leg back in a low lunge. Setting up warrior one, Virabhadrasana, back heel, 45-degree angle. Lift the arms all the way up, reach up. As the arms reach up, the shoulders move down. Keep the right knee bending deep. Let's open out the arms for warrior two, reach out. Tailbone down, chest up. Reverse warrior, sweep the right arm overhead. Let the left arm soften down the back leg. Windmill the hands to the mat, opposite sides of the right foot, low lunge. Come into a down dog split. We're lifting the right leg up and back. Let's hold here for a moment. Put a bend in the right knee so the hip rolls open, the head drops down. Maybe make some circles at the right ankle joint, maybe point flexing the foot. Just toning the arches of the feet a little bit here. And slowing it down, taking another inhale, the right knee a little higher. As you exhale, pull the knee in toward the nose, round it in. Inhaling, lift up the right leg. Exhale to low lunge. Step your foot through the hands. Carry up the foot if you need to. Step all the way to the front of the mat. Fold over the legs. Bring both feet back together. Toes and heels touch. Bending the knees. Sit deep. Keep the tailbone lengthening down. Then the arms lift up. Utkatasana. Maybe let the eyes look up between the hands. One more deep breath in. Exhaling, dive over the legs. Now it's the right foot stepping back in low lunge. Setting up warrior one. Right heel, 45-degree angle. Arms up. Keep the left knee bending deep. Draw the left hip back a tiny bit. Let the breath move. Warrior two, open the arms out. Make sure you can see your big left toe so the left knee tracks over the second and third toe. Keep the arms nice and strong. Let's reverse the warrior. Sweep the left arm overhead. The right arm now relaxes down the back leg. Windmill the hands to the mat, opposite sides of your left foot. Down dog split. It's the left leg lifting up and back. We're holding here. Put a bend in the knee. Let the hip roll open. Soften the head down. Maybe peek under the right arm. Stabilizing the shoulders, and if you did it on the first side, you can roll at the left ankle joint, pointing, flexing the foot. Keep the breath moving. Let's slow it down. Big inhale, left knee a little higher. On the exhale, bring the knee to the nose, round it in, curl. Inhaling the left leg up. Exhale to low lunge, step your foot through the hands. Step all the way up to the front of the mat, fold over the legs. Bring the feet together again. We're going to add on to this set. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Dive over the legs, let it go. Step the left leg back in a low lunge, returning to warrior one. Turn the back heel, 45-degree angle, lift the arms. Soften the shoulders. Warrior two, reach out to the side, look over the right middle finger. Let's sweep both arms behind the back, interlace all 10 fingers, chest up, straightening out the arms. Turn on the back toes. So you're facing the front of the mat, the hips level out, coming into a modified warrior three. Your left leg lifts off the mat, nice and easy. The right leg straightens out as you lift away. Draw the shoulders back, try to drop the outer left hip a little bit. Keep breathing. Take one more inhale. Lower your hands to the mat as you exhale. Step back in a low lunge so your left toes touch back on the mat. You can drop the back knee to modify or keep it lifted. Pick up the right arm. Take your twist. Look up through the right fingertips. One more deep breath in. On the exhale, lower the right hand. And take the right hand, slide the right hand inside the right foot. Plant the left heel down on the mat. We're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Walk your hands over to the left side. Bring the right toes in a little bit. So now your feet are about 3.5 to 4 feet apart and the feet are just about parallel to each other. If the knees need to bend here, let them bend. Right? If the legs are straight, remember, keep a slight micro bend in the knees. The crown of the head lengthens toward the mat. The sit bones keep lifting high. Let's give it one more breath. On your next inhale, we're lifting the chest. Bring both hands to the waist as you exhale, flattening out the back. Press all the way up to stand. Keep the hands on the waist. Bring your feet in a little bit closer on both sides. So we're slightly more narrow, right? Slightly less wide. Okay. Setting up goddess pose, bring the heels in at a 45-degree angle. So before we move the hands, the arms, just checking in with the feet, the knees. You'll bend at the knees so the tailbone lengthens down. Try to keep the knees over the heels. So we want to make sure we're not collapsing in with the knees, right? So if you're good here and you're lined up and the knees look good, bring both palms together at the heart. Then bring the hands, the backs of the hands to the insides of the knees. As you press down through the legs, inhale, straighten the legs, sweep the arms overhead, look up at your thumbs. Nice and easy, slow. Exhale, bend the knees again, backs of the hands to the insides of the knees. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling, straight legs, arms overhead, reach up. Exhaling, sit deep. Last time. Inhaling, lift up, look up at your thumbs if you can, and bending the knees. Good. Bring your hands again to the waist. Start to straighten out the legs. We're going to take warrior two at the front of the mat. Check in with your feet. Turn the left toes in. Turn the right toes to face the front of the mat. We want the alignment nice and clean here. Bend the right knee. Reach both arms out to the side nice and strong. One more inhale. Exhale, lower both hands to the mat. Let's step into plank pose. Bring the right foot back. Adding a side plank, Vashisthasana. Drop your right knee on the mat. Spin your left foot flat. So we're facing the left side of the room. Lift the left arm up. So this is a modified side plank. And certainly if you want to go a little bit more advanced, you can straighten out the legs. So the left leg is on top. If you're working on any other variations, you can do a side tree pose or anything that suits you today. Remember to breathe. Let's give it one more inhale. On the exhale, bring the left hand down. Let's come to center. And we'll meet in down dog. You can either press straight back to down dog or take chaturanga up dog on the way. Hips up and back. Let's give it another deep breath. Inhaling. Nice, deep exhaling, letting it all go. One more time. little bend in the knees, look forward through the hands, walk or hop the feet up to the front of the mat. This time as you fold over the legs front of the mat, separate the feet about hip width distance, approximately the space of 2 fists between the feet, right? Padangusthasana, hand to big toe pose. Grab your big toes in yogi toe lock, first 2 fingers of each hand. Lift the chest on the inhale. Then exhale, round down over the legs, drop the head down, soften the shoulders out of the ears, and of course if you're modifying, you're just taking hands to opposite elbows. So just relax into the stretch as you fold. On your next inhale, we'll lift the chest. Exhaling, releasing out the toes. Padahastasana, hand to foot pose. Let's lift the fronts of the feet, lift the toes, slide the hands underneath as far as they'll go to the wrist crease. Just give it a try, right? Again, doesn't have to be all the way. Just, give it a go. Exhale, toes down, head down, rounding. And if you're holding on to opposite elbows, you're just switching up the grip so the opposite hand now will be on top. Deep breaths. One more time. On your next inhale, we're lifting the chest. Exhaling, releasing out the hands from the feet. Bring your hands to the waist, and with a flat back, press up again all the way up to stand. Take your time, nice and easy. Relaxing the shoulders down, arms by your side, Tadasana. So from the front of the mat, stepping your feet together, toes and heels touch. Start bending the knees all the way, setting up chair pose. Your fingertips reach toward the mat. Keep the hips all the way down, then the arms lift up, Utkatasana. Dive over the legs, letting it go. Stepping the right foot back in a low lunge, warrior one. Turn the back heel down, float the arms up. Deep bend in the left knee, shoulders down, looking up if you can. Open it out for warrior two. Look over the left middle finger. Reach both arms behind the back, change the grip again as you interlace all 10 fingers so the opposite pinky finger sits on top, chest up. Setting up warrior three, turn on the right toes, level the hips. Slowly, warrior three, right leg lifts off the mat. Draw the shoulders back, let the chest lengthen forward. Try to level the hips, drop the right hip down a little. One more deep breath. Lower your hands to the mat. Step into low lunge, bring the right foot back. Yeah, taking the left hand inside the left foot. Coming into our wide-legged forward fold, going the other way. Pivot the right heel flat on the mat. Walk the hands through the right side. Bring the left toes in. Right? And again, if the knees need to bend, you can bend the knees. If the legs are straight, remember to keep a slight micro bend in the knees. And if you want, you can either keep the hands down, you can grab onto big toes or interlace fingers behind the back. Right? For the shoulder opener, if you want to try a different variation, let's give it one more deep breath. On your inhale, we're lifting the chest. Exhaling, hands to the waist, flatten the back, press up slow all the way to stand. Good. Shoulders down, then bring the feet in a little bit closer on both sides. Doing a second set of our goddess pose. Bring the heels in a little bit, just about at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so you don't want to go too much wider on the angle with the heels because you still want to be able to maintain balance, right? But you do want to give the knees a little bit of a break, and this makes it a little easier. Start to bend at the knees so the knees line up over the heels, right? Tailbone down, so the shoulders over the hips. When you're set up here, the palms at the heart. Then bring the backs of both hands to the insides of the knees. Press down through the legs. Inhale, straight legs, arms up, look up if you can. Exhaling, bend the knees, tailbone down, hands to the insides of the knees. Two more. Inhale. Slow, deep exhale, bending the knees. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Bring your hands to the waist again. Start to straighten out the legs. Bring your right toes in, so the toes kind of angle in at a 60-degree angle, right? Turn the left toes to the front of the mat. Bend the left knee nice and deep, arms out to the side. Good. Chest up, drop the shoulders. One more inhale. Exhale, windmill the hands to the mat, low lunge, turn on the back toes. You're welcome to modify, lower the right knee or keep it lifted. Take your twist to the left arm comes up. Reach all the way up through the fingertips. One more inhale. Exhale, lower the left hand. We're meeting in down dog. Actually, I take that back. We're gonna take a side plank first. Step the left foot back. Lower your left knee to the mat. Spin the right heel down, foot flat, lift the right arm up. So here is your modified Vashisthasana. If you're going for the more advanced variation, both legs are straight, the right leg is on top. So you're facing the opposite side of your room. Or any other variation you tried on the first side. Let's give it one more deep breath in. On the exhale, lower the right hand, come to center. Now we meet in down dog. So you can either go straight back or take chaturanga up dog. And when you get to your down dog, this time let's lower to a child's pose, right? So bring the knees down, separate your knees a little bit, toes together, hips to heels. You can reach arms forward or back. Maintaining nice, steady, deep breaths. Let's take 2 more deep breaths right here. And coming up onto your hands and knees. Let's bring it back to downward facing dog, giving ourselves some nice hip stretches here. Lift the right leg all the way up. Come into pigeon pose, bring the right knee through. Extend the left leg back. Sit tall. If you have blocks or blankets, you're welcome to use them under the right hip or thigh. Make sure the left toes point straight back and you're either holding here or you can slide the hands out, lower the forehead down. If you're modifying, if this is not okay on the joints, this is very important because you want to protect the knees, right? You're going to lay on your back. If you're unsure what the modification is, I'm just demoing that really quick here. You're going to lay on your back, bring your right ankle above the left knee and hug the left leg in. Same stretch without the pressure on the joints, okay? So this is a very important point when I say be kind to yourself, be kind to yourself here. Good, so wherever you are in pigeon pose, let's give it another 2 deep breaths. Releasing out nice and easy, slide the hands back in, lift the head, the chest up. Let's meet again in down dog. Step the right leg back, shake it off, stretch it out. Any way that feels good, pedal out the heels. Plank chaturanga, all good. Then getting to the second side, lifting up the left leg. Put a little bend in the knee, bring the knee through. Pigeon pose, right leg back, sit tall. Make sure the right toes are pointing back. Use the props if you need under the left hip or thigh, hips level so we're not sliding off to one side or the other. Either holding here or walk the hands out, forehead down, or you're modifying on your back. Soften the shoulders, soften the hands. Keep the breath nice and steady. Let's give it one more deep breath. And start to release it out as you slide the hands back in, lift the head, the chest up. Down dog, one final time today. Left leg stepping back. And lower your knees onto the mat, have a seat. Sweep the legs around front. Both legs extending out, sit tall, flex the toes. You can always put a little bend here as well in the knees if that feels better on the hamstrings or the lower back as we set up a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, reach forward, grab the feet, grab toes, heels, use a strap, use a belt, anything that's going to help get you a more reasonable grip. Let's give it 2 more breaths. On your inhale, we're lifting the chest. Exhale, releasing out the toes. Let's bend up at the knees, roll back slightly off the tailbone, setting up Navasana boat pose. Lift your feet off the mat. You can keep the knees bending as you let go. If you want to challenge yourself here, you can straighten out the legs. Right? Just keep the chest lifted, gazing toward the toes. Really firing up the belly, making sure you're not feeling this in the hips. One more breath. Good, then bending up at the knees. Come back up, extend the legs out. Let's do a seated spinal twist. Bend up at the right knee. Step your right foot outside the left leg. Slide the right arm behind you, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Take the left arm, wrap it around the right leg. You're twisting toward your right side. Keep the chest up, drop the shoulders. If you're working a slightly deeper twist, you can take the left elbow, slide it outside the right knee. Just making sure there's, space, right? We're not collapsing. Chest up, twist a little deeper, take one more breath. Bring it back to center, grab a counter stretch to your left side. Returning back to the middle, release the right leg, bend the left knee. Let's go the other way. Step the left foot outside the right leg, reach the left arm back, sit tall. Twisting to the left. You're welcome to wrap the right arm or take the right elbow outside the left knee. Lengthen the spine, deep breaths. One more breath. Inhaling, return to the middle. Exhale to the right, just brief counter stretch. Unwrap to center, release the left leg. We're bending up at the knees. Roll onto your backs, really winding things down a little bit more today. Start with hugging both knees in toward the chest. You can rock a little side to side, happy baby pose. And bring your feet back to the mat. Bring the knees, the feet together side by side. Coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees drop out, resting the hands and arms where it's comfortable. You're welcome to hold here if you would like to take an inversion this morning. Before we take our Shavasana, feel free to work into a shoulder stand, Sarvangasana. Right, carefully lifting the legs up, catch the lower back, or you can put a block under the lower back if you want to do the modified shoulder stand, much gentler on the head, neck, and shoulders, or you can go fully restorative, do legs up the wall. Just take your mat over, and let's give it a few more deep breaths. Two more breaths. And wherever you are, start to slowly release out. If you're in the hip opener, you're just going to fold the knees in. You can hug the knees in. You can windshield wiper the knees side to side. If you're in shoulder stand or any of the variations, you can fish pose on your back, straight legs, chest up, top of the head back on the mat. You can use a block or a blanket rolled up in between the shoulder blades to do the same thing. Or roll onto your belly for a brief cobra pose like we did at the start of our class. Let's give it another breath or two. And releasing out, let's all meet up on the back. Hug the knees in again to release, and feel free to take any final stretch or twist, anything that helps you work out any final kinks in the body as we now set up Shavasana, our final relaxation today. Extending out the legs on the mat. Let the feet separate a little bit. Let the arms drop out by your sides. Turn the palms face up. Softly closing the eyes. Letting go of the Ujjayi breath. Uncreasing the brow. Unclenching the jaw. Let the whole body just soften up on the mat. Letting go. Begin lengthening the breath, gradually returning awareness to the body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, maybe gently roll the head side to side. Reaching the arms overhead, enjoy a nice waking stretch. Bring the knees in toward the chest one more time. Roll slowly to the right side, pausing for just a moment. Keeping the eyes closed a little while longer. Start coming back up to a comfortable seated position on the mat. Either letting your hands again rest toward the knees or bringing palms together at the heart center. Relax your chin to your chest. Take another opportunity to connect to the breath. And always taking an opportunity to honor your efforts and honor your practice today. Namaste.